Hello, boss. I am so incredibly excited to be teaching this class to you today, the 4 wealth building secrets to investing in just 4 hours a year. My name is Anjali, and I am honored that you are choosing to spend this time with me. Now, you might be wondering if this is going to be worth your while. You are in the right place if you want to make your money grow without having to work more. If you want to make sure that you have a comfortable retirement, or if you want to become work optional so you can do more of what you love. And we're going to be talking about work optional and what that means a little bit later in this talk. This is not for you if you are looking to double your money by the end of the week. This is not a get rich quick scheme. And if you are drowning in high interest debt like credit cards, you will probably need to work on that first before diving into some of the material I will be covering today. In return, I promise to give you as much value as possible in this training. Everything I am going to teach you today has been proven to work both for me and for countless others. And I just ask you to have an open mind to investing in a way that is perhaps different than what you've heard, quote unquote, successful investors do, and that you take notes so that you can start implementing what you learn right away. For those of you who are action takers out there, I have a fast action bonus that I'm going to drop towards the end of this talk. I'm going to be offering the Money Mindset Reboot as a fast action bonus. It is a workshop that is worth the price of admission in and of itself, and it comes as a bonus to my full group coaching package, Investing for Boss Ladies. Now, while I'm sure you've watched other masterclasses of this variety, I'm going to give you my tips for making the most of this session. Now, I'm going to be real with you. I am the worst when it comes to having a million tabs open on my browser. So I suggest either you close them down or just open up a new browser so you are not distracted by all those 8,000 tabs. And also put your phone away. So just put it in another room or put it on silent, do not disturb, what have you, because this 1 hour session can be transformative if you take it seriously. Also, I know this is a recording, but I want you to sit and take it seriously as if you were being taught by me live because I'm sending you my energy regardless. During this masterclass, you will learn the 3 biggest mistakes that are keeping you from growing your wealth that I've seen countless other people make, as well as my signature 4-part method to invest in a way that is stress-free and hassle-free. And it is the exact same method that I use for my own investing and that I teach in my coaching program. The reason that I'm so passionate about teaching investing in this way is because investing my money was the number one way I was able to regain my time and break free of the 9 to 5 grind. But it is the specific method of investing that I use to help me grow my wealth without spending hours researching stocks or following the markets. Now, I think it's about time that I introduce myself properly. Important things you need to know. I am a self proclaimed cat lady. I work best after a nap, and I finally admitted to myself that I love museum gift shops probably more than I like the museum itself. Why should you listen to me? Fair question. I became work optional by the age of 29, which meant that I had enough money that I didn't need to work. I worked for the top financial institutions in the world: PIMCO, Goldman Sachs, HSBC, and I'm a banker that's gone rogue. And I want you to know all of the secrets that the banks don't want you to know. What makes me an expert? I'm a chartered financial analyst, which means that I have spent hundreds of hours studying investing so that you don't have to. I've worked with the world's biggest investors when I worked in banking, and I've helped hundreds of women invest and start to grow their wealth. You might be wondering how I went from banker to coach. So let's dive in. There was a specific moment that changed everything in my career. I remember I was having lunch with my parents at a restaurant when my mom said to me, I wonder what your horoscope had been this past year. I wonder what your horoscope has been this past year. My mom, who is a no nonsense woman, was at a loss. She wasn't able to understand why my once stellar career had come to an absolute standstill. None of us could. She couldn't make sense of what was going on. So much so that this woman who has never once looked at astrology was looking to the stars for answers. And I was alarmed. How can this be happening? We all wondered at the table. My mother's questions about horoscopes started alarm bells in my head. I knew that at that moment something serious was happening. And there was a key piece that I was missing. And then the penny dropped. As a successful woman of color, I was seen as a threat in my industry, a threat to the old guard. In other words, I was hitting the glass ceiling hard. The year was 2009 when I was having this lunch with my parents. Now, if you remember back in the fall of 2008, the big market crash happened where a lot of the big banks went under, including Lehman Brothers. I was laid off from my banking job along with 30% of our office, even though I had just been promoted and relocated. At that point, I was living in Europe and I decided to come back home to Canada to be closer to my friends and family. But this meant moving back in with my parents and staying in their spare bedroom and applying to hundreds of jobs. And I literally attended dozens of in person interviews, but to no avail. I came up empty handed. I had come back from London after what looked like modern day success, only to feel like a complete failure, living with my parents, jobless, and without prospect, it seemed. I had zero job offers. Shame was eating me alive. Even though the restaurant we were at was noisy and people were enjoying themselves, I could hear laughter. At our table, things got really quiet. I felt disappointed in the state of my career. I felt frustrated that my future was being set by the boys' club, and I was following rules that were not meant for me to succeed. I knew in that moment that I had to make a decision. I could continue going down this path of trying to fit into their club and following rules that were not meant for me, or I could take my power back and live a work optional life, live life on my own terms. Even though I was a good corporate animal up until that point, I always knew that I would never be able to fully express my creativity and my potential within the financial industry. I had a clear choice to make. I could either continue trying to make it work in the corporate world, but which had the structure of a 9 to 5 job and a steady paycheck, and it was what I knew, or I could go my own way into the unknown. The choice was clear. I had to choose courage over fear. I had to choose to leave what was comfortable to me, the 9 to 5, and opt for a different way of life if I wanted to be happy if I wanted to be free. Because I knew no matter what I did or how I acted, it would not be enough. I was a square peg in a round hole. And I absolutely love this comic. What's the difference between being aggressive and assertive? And the other woman answers, it's your gender. So I don't know if any of you have been through a similar experience, but unfortunately, it is all too common even today. Now, why am I telling you this story? Because learning to invest might be the courageous thing for you to do. And for a lot of women, we've been told that we will never be wealthy. And if you take one thing away from this masterclass, I want you to know that anyone can grow their wealth with some guidance. And yes, that includes you. Investing allowed me to spend my 30s traveling and being work optional. It made it possible to start my business and it is setting me up for a comfortable retirement. And even if I don't add another penny to my investments, I am still expected to become a millionaire before retirement age. Investing and growing my wealth is what allowed me to have the choice to say no to the corporate world, and it can give you options too. And it's all because I started investing with the method that I teach today, which I'll be sharing with you a little later on. Now, you might be asking yourself, what does work optional mean? Work optional means that you can work if you want to, but you also have the financial means to stop working, to volunteer, to take naps, to travel, to work on a hobby full time, to stay at home with your kids, to start a business, or basically to do whatever it is that you want. Whatever it is that will bring you joy and peace and a life of opportunity. I'm going to be now talking to you about the three biggest myths that are keeping you from growing your wealth. The first is that investing is complicated. Who here thinks that investing is complicated? Probably a lot of us. And that deep down you think, I will not be able to do it myself. When you think of investing, you think of Wall Street traders, Warren Buffett, the buying, the selling. And if you Google investing, you will find so many different types of investing methods. How do you know which method is right for you? You don't know where to start, which leads to overwhelm, and it leads to you not doing anything. I want you to know the truth, and that is that investing can be simple. You don't have to follow the stock market. You don't have to research companies or decipher complicated charts like the one in this photo. So, if you don't have to research different stocks, how do you invest? You invest using something called ETFs, and they are your absolute best friend when growing your wealth. They take the complicated out of investing, and they are essentially bundles of investments that allow you to invest in the entire market. So you don't have to time the market. You don't need to figure out when to get in, when to get out. And there is absolutely no stock picking. So you don't need to research different companies because you are buying all of the companies in that specific market. ETFs are like these baskets of fruit. They're pre-picked. You just pick up the entire basket. So there's no stock picking involved, or in this case, picking of individual fruit. And on top of it, you can buy different baskets. So you're not putting all of your investment eggs in one basket, which means that there is a lot less risk. Here's a fact that will accelerate your wealth building in a huge way if you invest in this way. And that's that the stock market doubles every 7 years. There is absolutely no other investment type on this planet that grows at such a rapid pace in such a sustainable way. So you should be asking yourself, how can you take advantage of this growth? Myth number 2, you need a lot of time to invest. The investing takes a lot of time to actually do. And I get it. You have a busy life, work, friends, family, staying healthy, a social life. And now what? On top of it, you need to put money and time into your investing. You're not wrong in being wary. There are lots of other investing methods that advocate for you, quote unquote, only spending 4 hours a day on your investments. Researching, keeping track of the ups and downs of the market, figuring out when to buy and to sell. Essentially, they are expecting you to quit your day job to become a day trader. What if I told you the method that I use for my own investments takes only 4 hours a year? 4 hours a year. And that's on the high end, at most 4 hours a year. And that's why I am such a huge fan of this method, because it is suitable for busy women and your to-do list. And now you probably think I'm exaggerating, but I literally only check my investments a couple of times a year. Most of the time, I have no idea what's happening in the stock market. I check out of curiosity, but there is absolutely no need for me to be following the stock market every day or researching different companies. As far as I'm concerned, it is all just entertainment. The amount of time that it would take for you to be actively managing your investments in a year, it's about the time commitment that it would take to watch a movie in the movie theater. So going there, buying the popcorn, buying the tickets, sitting down, watching the movie, and going home for the entire year. So if you want to go see Barbie, you have time to invest. Now, I'm not saying, oh, don't go see Barbie. Shout out to Barbie. But that is about the time commitment that it would take to invest your money for the entire year. Now, the great thing about this method is that it actually works best if you don't micromanage it and you let the markets do their thing. What does that look like? So this is a chart showing the S&P 500. It's basically the US stock market. And if you're Canadian or outside of the US, this is still highly relevant. You can see a cleared upward trend, and this is over the past 40 odd years. This shows that if you get on at point A and stay on long enough, your money is bound to grow. So the question shouldn't be, do I want to do this? The question should be, how do I get on this train to grow my wealth? Now, you might be wondering, okay, that's great, but how do I personally get access to the wealth generating machine that is the stock market? And it is through a beautiful process called index investing. Now, index investing is a method that I use for my own investments to this day and that I teach. It's simple to implement. So, for example, a complete newbie in my investing program, Investing for Boss Ladies, can become an investor in 6 weeks. It takes as little as 4 hours a year or less to manage this investment portfolio once it is set up. And the beautiful thing is, it is accessible to retail investors, so everyday people. You don't have to be wealthy in order to access this, and it allows you to invest cheaply and keep all of your profits. You might be wondering how it's possible that this method takes so little time and effort and at the same time delivers superior results. Well, the investments balance each other out so that you don't have to micromanage them. Like an ecosystem where the plants are yin and yang. So when I first heard about terrariums, I was blown away. Like you could just like plant these plants, put the soil in and the rocks and then some water and then close the lid and the plants and the ecosystem will just sustain itself. As a well-known plant killer, I thought this was incredible. And so index investing in this very same way has different elements that are symbiotic. It is a beautiful, elegant, and simple methodology. Myth number 3 is that rich people have access to the best investments. Now, let me tell you the bad news first. Here is what is easily accessible to everyday people. So, everyone other than rich people. Mutual funds, which are expensive, robo advisors, which cannot be tailored, and financial advisors that cost a ton of money. When you have a smaller account, you get the shorter end of the stick, unless you invest your money yourself the way I described. So if you have a small account, you get an expensive product with really high fees that is not tailored to your needs. And on top of it, it underperforms the market. The truth is that with DIY investing, so do it yourself investing, you can start with as little as $500. Financial industry doesn't really want you to know about this type of account, but it is your portal to riches. And the financial industry, I mean, they don't make as much money. So why would they want you to know about it? It's like the sale rack at the back of the store. You can go there, but that's not where the sales clerk wants you to go. You're not going to be encouraged to go there. And then when you get there, you might need to figure out a few things like how it's organized. It might be a little overwhelming. And that is why I started my coaching business, to cut through the chaos and get to the good stuff of the investing world. Only with DIY investing, you are getting the exact same merchandise that is at the front of the store, not last season's uncomfortable shoes. Now, you might already have something called a self directed brokerage account, but if not, it is really easy to set up. And this is what allows you to invest directly in the market without a middleman. So, a middleman might be an advisor or mutual funds. It allows you to design a portfolio that suits your unique situation, and it is accessible to everyday people, so people like us. The reason that even small amounts of money can go far when it comes to investing is because of something called compound interest. The money will grow like a snowball. So, those of you who grow up in a cold climate like I did, you know when the snow falls and it's that perfect sticky snow for making snowballs. Even really little children can make massive, massive snowmen. It's because the snow builds on itself. And in the very same way, when you invest your money for long periods of time, the money builds on itself. You just need a long enough runway. And with investing, the runway is time. Now, this chart here shows you the difference between putting your money in a savings account, even a high interest savings account. So, for example, at 2%, versus investing in the stock market, where you would get over the long term or even medium to long term a 7 to 8% return. So, here I've used 7%. And I've assumed that you start with $50,000 and you add $300 a month to your investment portfolio. So over 35 years, the high interest savings account, if you keep on adding this money and you start off with 50K, you would have something around the ballpark of $264,000, which is not shabby. However, if you had just put that money in the stock market instead, and it honestly does not take a whole lot extra effort, you would have around $927,000. Okay. And with a little tweaking, maybe adding a little bit more money per month, that could easily be over $1 million. So, what would you rather have? $264,000 or close to a million? With good financial habits and using a robust investment methodology, anyone can become an investor and become wealthy. You don't need a ton of money to start. There are stories of librarians, of school teachers, and janitors who have become uber wealthy using the exact same methods that I teach. The secret is that they started early. You might be wondering if you have to wait to retirement to see the results of investing. I get it. We're young. We still have a lot of living to do before we turn 65, and we want to enjoy our money now. Well, I will tell you that learning to invest will help you start living from a place of abundance today. You'll start feeling secure about your financial situation. You'll have financial confidence to take calculated risks the same way that one of my students did. So this is one of my first students. Her name is Emma. And after speaking to Emma a few years into her investment journey, this is what she said. She said, you showed me that women deserve to feel like they have control over their wealth and financial freedom. So before she started investing, she actually was in a 9 to 5 job, which was okay, but she didn't love. And once she started investing and had a newfound financial confidence, she quit her 9 to 5 job, went traveling around the world. And this is like her climbing in Greece, I believe. She came back home and she started a company where she takes groups of women out onto climbing retreats. So Emma's money didn't she didn't have enough to retire on by the time she quit her job, but her relationship to money had changed so that she knew that no matter what, she could attract money easily. So she started living from a place of abundance. This is another one of our students, Mia. Mia said, years ago, a bank advisor had set me up with some safe mutual funds. I trusted her without having any clue what she was talking about. Today, I understand what I've invested my money in, and I know I don't need to rely on anyone to help me manage my portfolio. I'm still not an industry expert, but I don't need to be. Now, I'm going to be talking to you now about the 3-step method to investing your money like a boss. I'm going to now be telling you about my signature 3-step method to investing your money like a boss. This is the exact same method that I use to this day, that I help my friends and family use, and that I teach in my Investing for Boss Ladies flagship program. The first step is goals and objectives, followed by asset allocation and then trading. Now, I've called it the GOAT method, but it's not after this cute little guy. It's more along the lines of this lady. GOAT stands for the greatest of all times. And I've picked this method specifically because I have looked at all other investing methods out there, and I found that this one is truly the one that will build your wealth in the best, most sustainable way. We start by determining your goals and objectives. And they're actually your life goals and objectives, because that's ultimately what investing is about. It's about living that juicy life, that juicy ideal life that you crave. If we don't know where we're going, how will we know what road to take? So that's why we start with your life goals and objectives. It's hard to know what is realistic in terms of a future. Usually, when I ask women to tell me what life would look like if money weren't an obstacle, I have to actually encourage them to dream big. Most of what we want is actually very, very achievable. We just have to set the financial goals in order to get there. I encourage you to start with a vision, because having a clear vision for why you are investing will allow you to stick through your game plan through thick and through thin. Think about what kind of life you want to lead, the experiences you want to have, and the impact you want to make. Do you want to spend more quality time with your friends and family, or maybe start your dream business, or maybe just give more money to charity? Knowing your why is really the backbone of your investing game. You might think that investing is just about growing your bank account, but it can actually help you to leave unhelpful fears behind and build a new relationship with money. One of our students, Sam Ang, said the following when we asked her about the unexpected benefits she got from learning to invest. She said the psychological benefits, self esteem, confidence, positive outlook for the future. I thought I would only get the financial benefit. Another one of our students, Melissa Blackett, said, I didn't used to have extra money every month for investing and saving. But now that I'm knowledgeable and excited about investing, I'm able to plan so that I can have money to invest monthly. And Kobe, an activist and an educator, said, I came into this program as an anti capitalist with a robust antagonism to investing. Through increasing literacy for financial strategy, I now see those leverage points that economic systems offer as one intervention among many in broader social justice struggles. Pursuing wealth should be more than just a means to an end. It's about creating a life you love, filled with purpose and with passion. Let's work smarter, not harder, to build a career and a lifestyle that truly fulfills us. The second part of the GOAT method is asset allocation. It is the foundation of your investing game. Essentially, it is figuring out how much you should put in different investment categories like stocks versus bonds. It's determined by figuring out your unique risk tolerance based on your life circumstances. An asset allocation is going to give you a rock solid investing plan for life. So you're not going to be at the whims of the stock market or your emotions. These little kids are cozy, safely sitting inside in their t shirts when outside a storm is raging. When you have a solid asset allocation based on your situation, this is how you're going to feel with your investing game. You're going to feel safe inside with your game plan, regardless of what is going on outside, what is happening in the news, whether the stock market is up or down. You are going to have confidence that you are doing the right things, regardless of what's going on outside. Warren Buffett once said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful." And this is so, so important. And this is really where most people lose the investing game. The things that will make us wealthy are the exact actions that we will not feel like doing when we are investing as humans. We will feel scared when the market is down. We will feel greedy when the market is up. And that's the exact time when you need someone, an expert, telling you what you should and shouldn't do when you really feel like doing the opposite of everything that you've been told and everything that is good for your investing game. We don't need to be the smartest person in the room. With a rock solid investing plan, a good asset allocation, we just need to be on top of our emotions. And the asset allocation will take emotion out of our investing game because we don't have to make decisions based on how we feel that day, how the market is performing. We just look at our game plan, put our head down, and keep investing according to what we've determined. The truth is, most investors do not have an asset allocation. It's partly because of lack of financial education. Most people don't even know what it is or that they should be doing it. They might feel overwhelmed and feel that there's a lot of complexity and they don't know how to go about actually creating asset allocation that suits their situation. And also, as humans, we tend to focus on the short term. Asset allocation is playing the long game. Investing without having an allocation is like getting into a cab or an Uber. And when the driver asks you for your destination, you say, "Surprise me." You want a solution that suits you and your circumstances and your goals. You don't want to leave your investments up to chance. Ilana, one of our students, a lawyer, said the following: "Since taking Anjali's program, I have a solid grasp on sound investing principles and the importance of asset allocation and rebalancing." She says, "It's also fun, communal, and inspiring." Step number 3 in the GOAT method is trading. So, this is where you actually buy your ETFs in your brokerage account. Let me be real. Washing my own car is not something I have historically enjoyed doing, especially the vacuuming inside the nooks and crannies. But recently, I had to wash my car myself because it was last minute. I had to go somewhere and I didn't have time to go get it cleaned. And I found myself appreciating my car more. I was totally surprised. I felt pride that I had this vehicle, and I ended up feeling more at one with my car, which meant I take better care of it. And so, with your money, when you invest it yourself, you are also going to feel more pride. You'll probably save more and invest more and just generally take better care of it. So, with me and my car, I'll have fewer rush parking jobs and probably more likely to get on the check engine light. You also will be more careful with your money and more likely to pay attention to it. This chart shows the difference between you paying an annual fee to a financial advisor or to mutual funds. Now, we've been talking about psychological benefits of investing, but let's be real. Investing your money will save you a ton on fees. So the green section in this chart shows how much your money would grow if you are paying 1% in annual fees over 20 years. The dark blue is the amount that has been paid in fees. It is an insane $28,000 over 20 years. And the light blue is the additional return that you would get if you had just invested those fees instead of paying them out. So, as you can see, fees erode the value of your portfolio incredibly over long periods of time. One of the reasons I started my investing coaching program is because I realized that a lot of women were getting stuck at just opening their brokerage account and navigating it. This is the insides of my personal brokerage account. And a lot of people get stuck here. There's these charts, numbers, there's green and red. What does it all mean? Because it's so overwhelming, this is where people get stuck. They don't know what to pay attention to and what to ignore. And that is actually critical in learning to invest, knowing what to ignore. This is the tale of two investors. In the blue, we have Jack, who started investing at the age of 25 and contributed $200 a month. In green, we have Jill, who started investing at the age of 35 and contributed also $200 a month. It makes sense that Jack would have more money at the age of 65, right? But get this, Jack actually stopped contributing at the age of 35. He only contributed a total of $24,000. So while Jack contributed for only 10 years from the age of 25 to 35, the rest of the growth is actually the investment and the markets just doing their thing. Whereas Jill contributed every month from the age of 35 all the way to 65, she contributed $72,000 in total compared to Jack's $24,000. Now, I was tempted when I was creating the slide deck to actually change up the names. I was like, why is it that Jack is, investing earlier and that Jill is investing later? I don't like these stereotypes. But the truth is, this is exactly what happens. In my experience, women come to me a full 10 years later than literally boys do. I have boys as young as 19 coming to me, whereas women, even in their late 20s, ask me if it's too early to start investing. And ladies, it is never too early to start investing, especially if you look at this chart right here. The truth is that women, we generally consider ourselves good savers, whereas men usually consider themselves savers and investors. So let's say you have to travel 50 kilometers. You could walk slow, and let's face it, you might not make it to your destination. 50 kilometers is far, probably about, for Americans, between 25 and 30 miles. But biking, using a bicycle, faster, more efficient, maximizing your energy. A lot of us are walking when it comes to our money by leaving in savings accounts, collecting dust, earning minimal interest. So I encourage you to get on your money bicycle and start investing. There are so many benefits to investing. And by doing investing yourself with your own hands, you have the additional benefits of conquering your fears. And it's really about you becoming a different person and stepping into your financial power. You'll see your confidence grow. You'll see you have control over your money and really your life. And you'll have peace of mind that you are doing all the right things and your money is growing in exactly the way that you have planned. Here's an excerpt from my student Mia's journal. She said, "How did I feel right after trading? A total high. After the high came down, I just felt so free. A weight was lifted off my shoulders. All the guilt from procrastinating was gone. Now it seems I was being overly dramatic. I built this whole big scary thing in my mind. It was really nothing scary at all. I know now I have so much to learn, but holy cow, I've done it. I'm an investor. I feel like I've unlocked an adult level in some sort of video game. Now, if you take away one thing from this class, I want you to know that you can grow your wealth effortlessly and with ease. I've developed a 3-step method that makes investing simple, and I've outlined that method for you today. So, the big question is, how can you apply this method to your own money game and tap into the power of investing to grow your wealth? You can waste tons of time and effort trying to figure it out alone on Google or by reading books, which will unfortunately tell you the what, but not the how. Or you can fast track your results with my program, Investing for Boss Ladies. If you are ready to start growing your wealth, Investing for Boss Ladies is your answer. In the program, I teach you the entire GOAT method in detail. So it's the method that I taught you today. So we start with module 1, which is goals and objectives, module 2, risk tolerance, 3, investment categories, number 4 is build your blueprint, and 5 is picking ETFs, and 6 is trade day. So the curriculum is self-study, but weekly I have live Zoom calls. And this is really where the magic happens. This is where I coach you to become an investor. I teach you the language of investing. So these are Q&A sessions with me. We also have accountability calls, we have monthly workshops, and we have guest speakers that come and talk to us. The Q&A sessions are with me personally, not with another coach, and this is where I coach you live. Think of it as a mini one-on-one. Now, normally my coaching sessions start at $200 an hour. So this is the best way and most affordable way to get my expertise. You'll have access to my expert knowledge on all things investing, and I guide you as if you were the only person in the room when I answer your specific question. There is no cutting corners to suit the group. And right now, on average, we have about between 5 and 7 attendees. So you're not going to be competing for my attention with hundreds of other students. In the program, I will provide you with powerful tools like this spreadsheet right here. This is the blueprint spreadsheet where you input your asset allocation, and I guide you through how to fill all of it out and how to use it. Another tool that I teach you to use is something called the financial calculator, which is usually only the domain of financial professionals. But it is truly the best tool to help you become in control and in the driver's seat of your investing game. And this is the screenshot here is me in action. It was actually only a few weeks ago where I was onboarding a group of new students. So this is us getting nerdy and explaining how this financial calculator actually works. One of our students, Katesi, who recently joined, she's a public sector employee. She said, I'm just grateful to have a space where I can ask someone who's not a bro to answer questions I've had forever. I'm really appreciative of the space that you've made. Now, if you're worried that you won't follow through on this course, I get it. Life gets in the way. And that's why we've put in place accountability calls where we actually just get stuff done. So it's a dedicated hour where you show up and work on a specific task that has been holding you up, or maybe that you've been having trouble with. You'll be doing it in a community with other students, and it's live on Zoom for motivation. It's a space to be productive and implement all the things that you've been learning. We have live monthly workshops with me where I teach something of a topical, something maybe that's been in the news, maybe something that it has been on social media that you're curious about, or I give my take on it. They're interactive workshops and they cover practical topics like finances or career. For example, recently I explored the lazy girl job trend and how it can actually help you to grow your wealth. So these are some of our recent workshops that I've done. Career pivots while making the most out of your hard-earned skills, lazy girl job, ways to make it work for you and your wealth journey, travel and money, see the world without breaking up with your financial goals. And around Diwali, I did one called How My Cultural Upbringing Has Shaped My Wealth Identity, so that it can actually maybe help you explore your own wealth identity in the same way. I invite guest speakers on to speak to our group, and this is really to augment your life. We live holistically, and at Investing for Boss Ladies, I truly believe that all facets of our life are interconnected. And we have a variety of topics that go beyond investing. So we might have personal finance experts talk about budgeting, but we might also have life coaches, nutrition coaches. We've had real estate agents come on, health experts. We also have guest speakers come on that augment what I teach when it comes to investing. So we have guest speakers that cover a variety of topics that go beyond just money. We've had personal finance experts come on talk about budgeting, but we've also had life coaches, nutrition experts, fitness coaches, real estate agents, other health experts come on. We even had someone come on talk about how to establish habits that stick. I absolutely love these guest speaker sessions, and I know you will too. One of our students, Jose, said the following when we asked her what she liked about the Investing for Boss Ladies program. She said, I love the group atmosphere, a group of boss ladies guided by a professional, helping each other understand investing, surpassing barriers, both in terms of knowledge and emotions, and acting to improve our life situation. Jose had gifted herself this program when she finished her PhD. And personally, I cannot imagine a better way to start her working life post graduation. Nancy was someone who took action right away. And really, it shows how applicable and actionable and fluff free the Investing for Boss Ladies program is. So Nancy said, once I comprehended the material, I put it into action and I wasted no time in making my money work for me as opposed to working for my money. For me, having to feel as empowered as I did, it was all thanks to help of her program. Other students, Nancy Gill, a sales professional and a single mom, said the following. I came out of the coaching program empowered and in control. I now have a clear idea of where I want my future self to be financially. Mahawa, engineer, said Anjali's coaching program has helped me acquire new skills to improve my knowledge on long-term investing. I learned about trading ETFs and employer pension plans, which are not taught in traditional STEM fields. So STEM meaning sciences, maths, all of that. And I have a super exciting, juicy, fast mover bonus. It is a live money mindset workshop where I'm going to be teaching you live how to let go of old, unhelpful money beliefs. In this ultra impactful workshop, we go past investing. You'll be creating a new relationship to money that will guide you to achieve even your most aspirational money goals. This workshop, when I first did it as a student, I can't even tell you. It completely changed the trajectory of what I thought was possible for me and my life. Some of our students have said that this workshop in and of itself is worth the price of admission to the Investing for Boss Ladies program. And we have some bonuses. So bonus number 1 is the brokerage account starter kit. Save time and screw ups, ladies. A lot of people spend time shopping around for a brokerage account and then they feel paralyzed with indecision because there are so many options out there. Time is money, so don't waste it. In this starter kit, I will guide you to shopping for your brokerage account in record time so you don't waste needless hours comparing different options. I also give you a script when you call the broker, what to ask them for, and how to transfer money into it in the most efficient way possible. Bonus number 2, the quick and dirty primer to tax shelters. This is for US and Canadian investors. Most people have no clue where to put their money when it comes to tax shelters. So if you're trying to figure out, should I be putting my money in an RSP or a TFSA or a traditional IRA versus a Roth IRA, this is for you. It could save you literally thousands over the course of your life because it will help you avoid messy tax consequences that you will regret. Bonus number 3, the Millennial Investors Handbook to pension and stock options. So you might think, I don't have a ton of money saved. What's the point? What am I going to invest? Well, if you have a work pension plan, that is money that you are investing, although probably not in a very mindful and deliberate way. It's likely something that is neglected. If you're like a lot of people, you've checked off a bunch of boxes on a form that HR sent you about your pension plan. And this is money that can and should be invested with intention. It is some of the most important decisions that you will make for your future. And if you start investing your work pension plan properly, it could easily add up to tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. And just the confidence knowing that you have a handle on it and are doing all the right things for the future is priceless. Bonus number 4, the ultimate portfolio makeover. Give your current investments a facelift. If you already have investments and you're wondering how to manage your current investments and make the most of what I am teaching in this program, this bonus is for you. Take what you already have, mutual funds, stocks, random ETFs, and transform them into a cohesive investment strategy, investing for boss lady style. So this bonus will teach you how to take what you have and transform it into something that is so much more powerful in terms of growing your wealth. Bonus number 5, plug and play financial advisor assessment script. So you might think, this is all great, but I have a financial advisor who manages my money. Does it make sense for me to leave them to invest money on my own? This script will help you figure out just how much your advisor is providing in terms of value and whether it makes sense to leave them. But even if you decide to stay with your financial advisor for now, you'll be talking to them in a much more informed way and be able to advocate for yourself with a lot more confidence. Now, the program itself, Investing for Boss Ladies, the curriculum, the coaching calls, the Q&As, the guest speaking sessions, the accountability sessions, as well as all of the bonuses that I named, total to over 6,000 US dollars. But today, you can access this wealth generating investment program for $14.97. If you are Canadian, it is $15.97 Canadian. And we also have payment plans if that makes it more accessible to you. You might be wondering, how did she come up with these numbers? Okay, well, I recently spoke to a marketing coach who specializes in helping course creators like me with their businesses. And when I told him everything that was included in the Investing for Boss Ladies program, he couldn't believe it. He immediately told me to increase my prices to at least $3,000 to $5,000. And he said, honestly, Anjali, you could even charge $10,000 for everything that you are offering in this program. I right away told him, no, that's not my ethos. I created this program so that it could be accessible to the widest array of women, so that people of all different backgrounds could start growing their wealth. And so I am happy charging what I do, but there are experts out there who think that I should be charging a lot more. I want you to know that this is the only investing coaching program you will need to buy. The techniques that I teach here will grow with you. You can adjust them as you grow older. And if your life circumstances change, you can adjust this method with those changes. You will never need to go back to expensive mutual funds or a financial advisor once you see how simple it can be to invest your money yourself. If you are wondering, like a lot of other people, is this program going to pay for itself? Well, as an investment professional, I cannot make any guarantees or promises as to what will happen in the financial markets because they will literally come and put me in stock market jail. But I'm going to tell you this much. If you have $50,000 to invest and the stock market returns 8% per year on average, that is $4,000 a year. That's $4,000 a year that you could be making on average next year. And as your portfolio grows, as the compound interest starts taking off, that 4,000 will be even greater because the interest will build interest on top of it. So within very little time, you could have made your money back. And if you have a little bit less money, it'll just take you slightly longer. But a marathon is not going to get shorter if you wait longer to train for it. This is a marathon. You want to get started on your training, on your wealth building journey as soon as possible. I'm going to leave you with the story of Adriel. Adriel was my first student in the Investing for Boss Ladies coaching program. She was a corporate lawyer in Washington, D.C. And after a particularly harsh year-end review where she didn't get the bonus she knew she deserved, she decided enough was enough. She applied for a visa to move to Paris, where she had been on vacation and absolutely loved. And Adriel quit her job and started living off her investments once she moved to France. And she said to me the following: the money just grows and grows. What is Adriel doing now? She is eating baguette and cheese. She is writing a book about being an American in Paris and showing off her beautiful clothes on TikTok and Instagram as she has become the fashionista she was always born to be. Adriel didn't grow up with wealthy parents. She didn't make a lucky break with some sort of hot stock tip. She didn't even make, crazy salary when she worked in law. Adriel just saved her money and started investing it the way that I taught. And this has allowed her to live a work optional life, enjoying herself, enjoying life, savoring what life has to offer, and not working. This could be you. You don't have to wait till you're old and gray and retired in order to stop working. I want you to get in the driver's seat of your money game by learning to invest your money yourself, because I know you can do it. I have, Adriel has, countless of my students have. So you just need to decide that this is the year that I'm going to be investing my money myself and growing my wealth properly. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. I know this is a recording, but feel free to drop the questions here or email us. But in the meantime, I will answer a few FAQs questions which we get asked a lot. All right, so let's do a little Q&A. One of the big questions I get from people is real estate the best way to grow your wealth? Because that's what I've heard, for example, my parents say, and just in general in the media. So here's the thing. When it comes to real estate, people underestimate all of the work that goes into maintaining a property, both physically and in terms of money. If your roof sprouts a leak, you have to shell out money to pay for that. If you are a landlord, that is work. It is not passive investing. If your tenant's toilet breaks, you have to be there to fix it. And when it comes to comparing it something like a diversified portfolio of ETFs will never wake you up in the middle of the night because something is not working because their toilet started leaking. You can also sell a portion of your ETFs, of your index investing portfolio, if there is an emergency. You cannot do the same with real estate. And real estate, when it comes to dollars and cents, will actually never get you the same sustainable wealth generation that ETFs will. On average, the stock market grows between 7 and 8%. Real estate will never sustainably get you that much return. I have student loans. Should I be investing? So, this is another good one. A lot of people have student loans, and let's be honest, it might be a while before you finish paying it off. But I don't want you to be waiting that long in order to start growing your wealth. Student loans, luckily, are actually fairly low interest debt. So, generally, student loans charge around 4% per year in interest. Whereas with investing, you could be making 7, 8% per year on average. So, while I encourage you to continue paying down your student loans according to your payment schedule, any leftovers, I suggest that you put it into your investing because that is you putting away and saving for your future. I have credit card debt. Should I be investing? So, credit card debt is a little bit different than student loans. They can get out of control pretty quickly because their interest rate is much, much higher. It's around 18, 19, 20%, sometimes even higher. So I recommend before you start investing that you have a solid plan to pay down this debt. That doesn't mean you have to have paid off every last penny. I had a student, Cheyenne, who started our program with $20,000 in credit card debt. And within a year, she had paid it off and put away $10,000 into her investing. So it is entirely possible to turn your situation around with the right guidance and coaching, but you should have a plan in place to pay that consumer debt off. I'm a total newbie. Is this program too advanced? No, I have designed this program for everyone in mind. So that includes people who have never invested before. So I teach you everything from the ground up. I'm already investing. Will I learn anything new? This is another one that I get. A lot of our students do have investments, but they've never felt confident with what they were doing. So in this program, I teach you to invest in a way that is mindful, that you understand what you're doing. And most of our students actually end up completely overhauling their investments because they have learned how to analyze them, how to look at them, and have realized that the investments are not at all set up in a way that they would choose, and they're not helping them grow their wealth in the best way, or they're not set up in a way that is in line with their situation and their goals. Also, I'm a chartered financial analyst, so even more advanced investors can learn a lot. I have never tapped out, put it that way. I've signed up for other programs and not finished. So I'm worried that the same thing is going to happen here. And I hear you. And that is why we have accountability sessions built into the program so that you can actually find time to do the work. And the other thing is, in the live Q&A sessions with me, you can come ask me questions about investing, maybe areas where you've gotten stuck, but you can also just ask me for encouragement and guidance in terms of motivation. So I am here for you, whatever need you have in terms of moving forward towards becoming an investor. I'm invested in mutual funds and ETFs. What is the difference? So Mutual funds are a managed product, which means that a human, someone with my skills, let's say, is sitting behind them and managing them, making decisions on buying and selling based on their emotions, based on what's happening in the markets. And if you look at the best investors, they actually take emotion out of it and human error out of the equation. So mutual funds will never give you the results that you would get over the long term compared to something like ETFs. ETFs, we've taken all the emotion out because they 100% mimic the market. They track the market. There is no human intervention or opinions baked into that situation. And also, mutual funds are expensive. They're often 1%, 1.5%. I've even seen over 2% in annual fees, whereas ETFs are a fraction of that. A standard US stock ETF you can get for literally pennies, so like 0.05% per year. If you have any other questions, I am happy to answer them. Please just drop your question here. It comes into our inbox, someone will answer them. And I thank you so, so much for attending this session, watching till the end. I value your time and I hope that you got some knowledge, some encouragement out of this session, and really that it has inspired you and encouraged you to take the next step and to start investing and join our investing program. Join the hundreds of people and women that have joined my program and learned to invest using the Investing for Boss Ladies method. Thanks so much and have a great rest of the day.